Alright, live on YouTube, live on Rumble. Good afternoon, hello, welcome to This Day in History, aka TDH. I'm Xander, UVRU. We are being joined by the Golden Loon.
Yes.
Welcome, welcome, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Today is, of course, what is today? Moon's Day, aka Monday, July 13th, 2026. This show is about interesting and important events that happened today throughout the annals of recorded history. We have a 30-page document to go through today.
Oh.
Yeah, so, things are getting a little bit less and less. It seems that, I was talking with you in the car about how there seems to be seasons in history. Between this month and that month, that's when wars start. That's when this type of thing starts. I've already discovered that the first of every month is usually the busiest. Mm-hmm. And so far, the busiest day in history is July 1st.
Yeah.
With today's a 30-page document. July 1st was 64.
Jeez.
Nuts. Anyway, let's jump into it here. Starting in the year 574, John III ended his reign as Catholic Pope. So I guess today's a Pope Day. Oh yeah, no, there's our thumbnail today.
Oh, okay.
And title is Bottle Beer, Northwest Ordinance, AI, and more.
Mm.
And AI was born in 1953 or something. So
what?
Yeah, we'll get to that. So moving on up to 1174, William I of Scotland, a key rebel in revolt of 1173 to 74, was captured at Alnwick by forces loyal to Henry II of England. 1249, we have the coronation of Alexander III as the King of Scots. Hey.
Yeah.
1260, the Livonian Order suffered its greatest defeat in the 13th century in the Battle of Derby against the Grand Duchy of Lithuania. 1402, Nanjing surrendered to Zhu Dui without a fight, ending the Zhengdan campaign. The Jingwen Empire disappeared, and his family was incarcerated. Yeah, that's unfortunate. 1522, hunger appeal by women of Utrecht. What does that mean?
I don't know.
I'm gonna do a surface load. Dutch famine. Huh. Okay. Well, this might see Dutch famine. Wait, no, this is wrong. This is 44 through 45. I'm in 1522.
Yeah.
So this is wrong. Absolutely wrong. Action against hunger. If anyone can look this up, this hunger appeal by women of Utrecht. What is this? Let us know in the comment section, what this means. So, moving up to 1568, Dean of St. Paul's, London, Alexander Noel, perfected a way of two-bottle beer. So, putting the beer in the bottle. Oh, we'll get to that here as well. Yeah. Hey, you know that picture. Everybody knows that picture. That's an AI-generated image. It looks like one, but this guy here invented a way to, or perfects a way to bottle beer. I'm going to surface level scratch of this article really quick. Okay, this ain't telling me anything really. Moving on to 1573, Haarlem surrendered after 7 months to Spanish army. During the 80 Years' War, the siege of Haarlem ended after 7 months. Now, to give you a perspective of how long 7 months is, we are in the 7th month of this year.
Yeah.
So, imagine all the shows, every day for the whole year up until now, and 7 months could be okay, at the beginning of the 7 months, or middle. So
right now you're at 6.5 months.
Well, no, we're at 7. It's the 7th month. It's the 13th day of it.
Yeah.
So anyway, 1586, Anglo-Spanish War. A convoy of English ships from the Levant Company managed to repel a fleet of 11 Spanish and Maltese galleys off the Mediterranean island of Pantelleria. That's impressive. Galleys. 1668, Van Marco Sesti's opera Il Pomo d'Oro, The Golden Apple or Tomato, premiered in Vienna. And that's just weird. So, it's either the Golden Apple or the Golden Tomato. One of those two. Il Pomo d'Oro, translated, they can't figure out exactly if it's the apple or tomato. It's the golden one of those two, apparently.
I'm going with Golden Apple.
Okay, yeah, golden. I mean, that makes sense. So, 1690, 9 Years' War, French naval forces led by Anne Héroïne de Trouville, fresh from their victory at Beachy Head, sailed west and launched a raid on the small English town of Tangmouth, leaving it devastated. Yeah, they just, they're in a frenzy. They already, won a battle or whatever. 1700, the Treaty of Constantinople established peace after the Russo-Turkish War. 1772, Captain James Cook began his second voyage to the South Seas aboard HMS Resolution to search for Terra Australis, southern continent.
Yeah.
Does that sound familiar?
Yeah.
You want to know why?
Yeah, tell me.
Australia.
Yeah.
Australis.
Yeah. Yeah.
1787.
He discovered it.
Yep, he did. And we're actually going to be talking.
Not yet.
Well, no, not yet, but we will be talking about it. So keep that in mind. We will be bringing this up again later today. 1787, U.S. Congress adopted the Ordinance of 1787, the Northwest Ordinance, establishing the first organized U.S. territory, setting requirements for statehood, guaranteeing equal status with the original 13 states, outlawing slavery, and protecting civil liberties. In 1787, so if slavery was outlawed, how come I guess they inlawed it? I don't know. So. It says here from our source, the Congress of the Confederation enacted the Northwest Ordinance establishing governing rules for the Northwest Territory. It also established procedures for the admission of new states and limited the expansion of slavery. So that's something right there. There's a difference between outlawing slavery and limiting the expansion. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly right. To get the southern states, they had to accept slavery, but they wouldn't accept any other states to come in with slavery.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't let slavery enlarge throughout the continent.
Yeah. Northwest Ordinance. I think they altered that later or something. Like I don't know.
Well, of course, they abandoned slavery.
Well, no. I mean, to appease the southern states, because the whole reason why the South seceded is because the Union was making promises that they weren't backing up. You know, slaves were escaping to the north, and the Union was in no hurry to chase after them and return them.
Yeah.
And so the South, there you go. You know, they're not getting their representation. They're getting promised something. You know, at this point, I understand the morals and I agree with them, but at the same time, I do not agree. You know, even if it's morally justified, I do not agree with not backing up your words with actions. If you do not fulfill your promises, then you're not worth shit.
Yeah.
So that's why they seceded, because they didn't view, you know, like why are we here, you know? So
there was also a movement to ban slavery too.
Oh yeah.
That was trying to get in the works.
But I mean, as I've mentioned before many times, the Civil War, it had been going on essentially since the start of the nation in Congress and whatnot. The North creates another territory, the South creates another territory.
Yeah.
The North makes a state, the South makes a state. Whatever. They all did that to get another seat in the House of Representatives. They played that bullshit game for a while, and then they turned to guns. So. But anyway, this link that I collected, as you saw, any other links that we collect throughout the show will be in the underbar description below after the live stream. We already have a lot of cool stuff down there, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition, our sources, the music in the background, and a handful of other nifty things. But yeah, if you want to check out more about this Northwest Ordinance, that link is down there. Moving on up to 1814, the Caparini, the National Gendarmerie of Italy, was established. All right. And what is this Caparini? Well, let's take a look at this here really quick. So, they are the National Gendarmerie of Italy, who primarily carry out domestic and foreign policing duties. It is one of Italy's main law enforcement agencies, alongside the Polizia di Stato and the Guardia di Finanza, police, state police, and bank police. It sounds like. As with the Guardia di Finanza, but in contrast with the Polizia di Stato, the Carabinieri are a military force. As a fourth branch of the Italian armed forces, they come under the authority of the Ministry of Defense for activities related to inland public order and security. So they're essentially the National Guard, for Italy.
Yeah.
Carabinieri. All right. Yeah, throw that into the underbar section as well, if anybody wants to read more about that. 1830, the General Assembly's institution, now the Scottish Church College, one of the pioneering institutions that ushered the Bengali Renaissance, was founded by Alexander Duff and Raja Ram Mohan Roy in Calcutta, India. And I do have a picture of that. Look at that. That's cool. Mm-hmm. And you can actually, now that it says India, I can see that. I don't know why, but it looks like it's in India. Maybe the gates. Maybe the color of the gates, the architecture. I don't know.
I think it's the architecture more than
anything. Yeah. What else do we got here? 1831, Reglamento Organic, a quasi-constitutional organic law, was adopted in Wallachia, one of the two Danubian principalities that were to become the basis of Romania.
Oh.
Yeah. So let's look this up here really quick. Reglamento Organic or something. Let's see. Copy that. Put that into here. And then copy the link. And then I will read this. Quasi-constitutional organic law enforced in 1831 through 32 by the Imperial Russian authorities in Moldavia and Wallachia, the two Danubian principalities that were to become the basis of the modern Romanian state. The document partially confirmed the traditional government, including rule by the Hofstadtars, and set up a Russian or a common Russian protectorate, which lasted until 1854. Huh. Moving up to 1832, source of the Mississippi River discovered by Stadian geographer Henry Schoolcraft. All right. In 35, Swedish Stadian inventor John Ericsson filed for a patent for his screw propeller design. And that's what this is, or something like that. Yeah. And, you know, when you think about it, like, you know, before ships had, like, well, you know, ships had sails, you know?
Right.
And before that, they had oars and all that stuff. Well, like, you know, then we had the steam engine and everything. Okay, then they had the side paddle things.
Right.
You know, we still have those paddle wheels, you know, along the river boats and all that stuff. But eventually, like, you know, the screw, you know, just the propeller had to be invented.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like when you think about it, like, who imagined this shape? Like, because, you know, it propels you. It is a propeller. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
exactly right.
Yeah. So, you know, here's that one image. That's a really cool one right there. Looks like it has a lot of bite in the water.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then of course we have these big guys here.
Yeah.
So yeah. What else do we got here? 1836, U.S. patent number 1 after 9,957 unnumbered patents for locomotive wheels. So they already had like 9,957 patents before this, but this is when they actually started numbering them. So the very first U.S. patent, at least numbered, was for the first numbered patent was for train wheels. So that's pretty cool to learn, you know. What else do we got here? 1837, Queen Victoria was the first monarch to live in present-day Buckingham Palace. I never thought, you know, like, when was Buckingham Palace built?
Never think about it.
You know, like, how long have you know, the royal family, you know, lived there? Well, apparently since 1837. You know, and where did they live before? You know.
Yeah.
Castles, everything. And at some point, I think they did live in the.
So old. I'm surprised that Buckingham Palace isn't older than that.
Yeah, well, it's a more recent thing. Like, you know, Versailles was only in the 14 or 1700s or something like that.
Yeah, I have
the Palace of Versailles.
Yeah.
And everything.
Yeah.
So. 1841, Austria, Britain, France, Prussia, and Russia concluded the London Straits Convention, which forbade warships to cross the Bosphorus and Dardanelles in times of war. Okay. I wonder why. That's weird. 1849, the Charleston Workhouse Slave Rebellion began in Charleston, South Carolina, United States. I wonder for how long, how many involved. You know, 1851, John Loudon discovered tin on East Indian Island of Billington. 1854, U.S. forces shelled and burned San Juan del Norte in Nicaragua. Why? What are we doing? Like, I'm going to look that up here really quick just to see if it tells me what war. Bombardment of Greytown. So, this was, 1854, July 13th, that's the day. Contested port on the Atlantic coast of Central America. Nicaragua regarded it as its own former Caribbean outlet, while Britain maintained that it was always part of Mesquita. In 1852, the Protectorate granted self-governing autonomy to the tiny port. It was later bombarded and burned to the ground on July 13, 1854 by the U.S. Navy sloop of war USS Cayenne. Although this incident was historically minor, it had major impact on American foreign policy. Well, yeah, this is terrible. Like, so, weird bombardment. Just put that there, right there. If anybody wants to read more about that, that's really odd. 1861, we had the Battle of Carricksford, Virginia, or Carricksford. Union Army took complete control of Western Virginia. Almost heaven, West Virginia. 1863, anti-draft protests in New York City turned violent with over 100 people killed, including the lynching of black individuals. What the hell?
Whoa.
2,000 were injured and 50 buildings were burnt. Riot lasted for 8 days, or for 3 days, 3 days. Still, like, you know, nobody wants to get drafted. That's but that's wild. So yeah, Civil War, 1863, U.S. Civil War. The New York City draft riots began 3 days of rioting, which will later be regarded as the worst in United States history. Wow. 1864, we have early retreats from Washington City back to Shenandoah Valley. Washington City. I didn't know there was a Washington City.
I mean,
there's D.C., you know. Is that what they're talking about? Valley campaigns of 1864. Shenandoah Valley, Virginia. It was just telling me about this whole thing, just not the specific event. Sorry. Huh. Okay, well, maybe it's D.C.? Question mark?
That's the only one I know of.
I don't know. 1865, Horace Greeley, founder and editor of the New York Tribune, reputedly advised his readers to go west, young man. Okay. Interesting.
That's a famous saying.
65 as well, P.T. Barnum's museum in New York burned down. Giantess Anna Haining Swan just escapes. Good. 1868, Oscar J. Dunn, former slave, installed as lieutenant governor of Louisiana. That's pretty cool. Well, you know, too bad he was a slave, but, you know, now he's a governor. I hope he did a good job, you know?
Yeah.
1870, King Wilhelm I of Prussia sent the Emsar Depesche, the Ems telegram, to Otto von Bismarck, who published an edited version to purposely offend the French government, precipitating the Franco-German War. 1871, World's First Championship Cat Show was organized by Harrison Weir and held at Crystal Palace, London.
Cat show?
Yeah. 1878, Congress of Berlin ended redrawing the terms of Treaty of San Stefano to give Russia less influence in Ottoman Empire, or in the old Ottoman Empire. Other source says Treaty of Berlin, the European powers redrew the map of the Balkans. Serbia, Montenegro, and Romania became completely independent of the Ottoman Empire. Awesome.
So who decided that? Britain?
The European powers.
Yeah. Gee.
So,
redrawing maps. Nothing's changed.
Yep. 1882, train derailed near Tashirny in Russia, killing 200 people. 1893, Germany Army Bill was ratified. I'm going to look that up here really quick, just as a surface level scratch to see if I can find. Nope, there's nothing here. This is probably a Germany, according to AI, Germany's Reichstag considered an amended army bill introduced by Chancellor Caprivi, which was based on the old Human Compromise bill. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole through AI, but if anybody would like to look up stuff for this, please don't use AI. But yeah, interesting stuff out there. What else do we got here? 1896, Philadelphia outfielder Ed Delathany became second major leaguer to hit 4 home runs in the game as Phillies lose 9-8 to the Chicago Colts at the West Side Grounds in Chicago. 1900, Phillies beat Pittsburgh 23-8. Oh!
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah, 1911, Great Britain and Japan renewed their alliance of 1902 for another 4 years, which was the reason Japan joined World War I on the Allies' side. So they were in World War I.
On the Allies side?
Yeah.
No, I didn't realize that.
But, I think they were busy fighting and conquering all of Asia to really lend us any help. And how would they get to us?
I don't know if that started or not yet. I'm not sure when they started their march on the rest of Asia.
When did Japan begin their conquest of Asia? Let's see here, 1895. So before 1900.
Yeah, so it was on its way.
Yeah. No, it's already on. This is 1911.
Yeah, so it's well underway.
Yeah. 1913, the 1913 Romanian Army cholera outbreak during the Second Balkan War started. That's not good. And something I didn't realize was that the Spanish flu, you know about the Spanish flu.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that came out during World War I. So not only were we having mostly European World War, it's more of a European war than a world war, but a lot of world powers were in it, so I guess politically it was a world war, but I digress. I completely forgot my point. During all that, the Spanish flu broke out, and so the soldiers and civilians dealt with that, and the soldiers were on the front line in the trenches and dealing with that on top of everything else. Holy crap, dude. And now we need cry corners because our feelings got hurt because someone misgendered me. Ah! Anyway, 1917, a vision of the Virgin Mary appeared to children of Fatima, Portugal. 1919, Boston Red Sox pitcher Carl Mays walked off mound blaming teammates for lack of support in field. He rage quit. 1919 as well, the British airship R-34 landed in Norfolk, England, completing the first airship return journey across the Atlantic in 182 hours of flight.
That's a blimp, right? Yeah.
Yes, dirigible.
Yeah.
Zeppelin, like, what would be the... We went over this.
Yeah.
But it's this one here.
Yeah.
A week or I guess 182 hours ago, a couple of days ago, we talked about when it, I guess, started? Or when it landed in...
Probably when it went there, and that is when it's coming back.
Because this is its return trip.
Yeah.
So it started in England, and it landed in, like, New Jersey or something, and then it came back.
Yeah.
So, all right. 1923, Canadian explorer Roy Chapman Andrews discovered the first recognized dinosaur eggs in the Gobi Desert, Mongolia. I have... That's not the image. There's the image.
Ah.
Look at that. That's awesome. 23, as well, the Hollywood sign was officially dedicated in the hills above Hollywood, Los Angeles. It originally read Hollywood Land, but the last 4 letters were dropped after renovation in 49.
Yeah.
So, now what people don't realize is, like, you know, the whole, like, Hollywood Land, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Hollywood comes from the holly tree, and that was used in witchcraft and satanic rituals, and there's a big old rabbit hole involving that with dark stuff and everything. So that explains why there's so much, you know, Epstein stuff happening in Hollywood, if you understand what I'm talking about. You know, like it's literally, you know, it's Satan's land, and, like, you know, Satan, you know, Beelzebub, Lucifer, the devil, whatever you want to call him, he fell from heaven, and he was an angel. He got cast out. What does Los Angeles mean?
City of Angels, yeah. Anyways, the Hollywood Land sign was just basically a promotion for selling property.
Yes.
That was the whole point of it.
On the surface, yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
you were talking about a different subject. I'm talking about what it was used for.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's always, like, you know, surface level things, and I'm not even saying what I'm saying is true. You know, I believe it is, but, like, you know, as I said, you know, like, you know, don't listen to me. Just use me as a springboard to go on your own on your own journey of self-education. You know, like I could have said that more eloquently. Anyway, moving on up to 1925, French occupation force began evacuating country. What? What country? Why?
French occupation, but it
Yeah.
doesn't say which country.
I know. Like, that's weird. I'm gonna surface level scratch this here. Occupation of the Ruhr. Oh, Germany.
Germany, okay.
Okay. So.
War's over.
Oh, okay. Well, why would they wrote it that way though? Evacuating. It's not, you know.
That's weird.
Yeah. 26, 1 century ago, Finnish runner Paavo Nurmi set world record 3,000 meters at 8 minutes 20.4 seconds in Stockholm, Sweden. 1930, David Sarnoff reported in the New York Times, quote, "TV will be a theater in every home," end quotes. Well, it was, until the computer came out, you know. Now, hey, you know, I'm in somebody's living room, you know, maybe. Speaking of living rooms, are there any comments in here? Nope, okay. Moving on up to 1930 as well, first Football World Cup competition began in Uruguay. So the inaugural FIFA World Cup began in Uruguay. Cool. 1934, Babe Ruth hit his 700th career home run against Detroit. 35, Richard Strauss resigned as chairman of the Reich Musikkammer, the Nazi Reich Chamber of Music. We also have U.S.-Russian Commerce Treaty took effect. I'm just going to do a surface level scratch of this to see. You know what? I'm gonna throw in the occupation of the Ruhr in the underbar as well, just because I can. Why not? You know, let's throw that in there. Here's a link copy. Oops. There we go. All right, and then now we have. Well, this isn't telling me anything, so this is going to require some digging that we don't have the time for. Moving on to 1936, 112 degrees Fahrenheit at 44 Celsius was recorded in Mio, Michigan. Their state record. That's hot.
Mio, that's weird.
Yeah, Mio, M-I-O. You know, like Mamma Mia, but Mio.
Yeah.
So, we also have 114 Fahrenheit or 46 Celsius is recorded in Wisconsin Dells, Wisconsin.
Jeez.
Also their state record. 38 Kroller Mueller Museum opened in Holland. Gonna do an image search of that really quick, just to see. You know, oh, okay, that's kind of interesting looking. If it loads, like I'm
looking at nothing.
I saw a small version of it. You know, I'm trying to. You know, the thing isn't loading. So.
What is it a museum of?
Kroller Mueller, whoever, whatever that is.
Doesn't tell me anything.
I know. Well, that's all it says. Like, And I'm just there. It is.
Ah, there we go.
That looks like
What does that say up in the corner?
Alamy. That's a watermark.
Oh.
So that way, like, if you want an unwatermarked version, you have to pay them.
Oh.
It's one of those things. Well, we're not getting any images of this dang museum, so we're going to move on to 1939. Frank Sinatra made his recording debut with the Harry James Orchestra singing From the Bottom of My Heart and Melancholy Mood. Mom's Time, 41. Eddie Mayo, LA Pacific Coast League, spit in the face of umpire Ray Snyder. Whoa, I bet he got ejected from the game immediately.
Pacific Coast League was out here in Los Angeles. We had two teams in the Pacific Coast League, the Los Angeles Angels and the Hollywood Stars.
Oh.
Both in the PCL.
Nice. 41 as well, World War II, Montenegrins started a popular uprising against the Axis powers, the Trinajuliki Ustanak. Okay. 42, 5,000 Jews of Roanoke, Polish Ukraine were executed by the Nazis. German occupiers imprisoned 800 prominent Dutch as hostages. The SS shot 1,500 Jews in Joseph, Poland. 44, villainous Lithuania was liberated, so finally some good news.
Yeah.
That was some, that was dark stuff, but Loon's time, although it's 3 years later, 1949, Pope Pius XII excommunicated communist Catholics. Can't blame him.
That kind of, how does a communist Catholic work?
I know that
kind
doesn't
of
make
two words that just clash.
How does a Christian Democrat work?
Yeah, no.
Like, 1950, doctors operate and remove 7 bone fragments from MLB Boston Red Sox player Ted Williams' elbow following injury suffered 2 days earlier in All-Star game. Dang. Wow, dude, his elbow got exploded. 51, Great Flood, 2 million acres. Okay, yeah, they changed it. So it was, 2 million acres in Kansas and Missouri in central U.S. were flooded from rain. Swollen Missouri and Kansas rivers. Why can't I read today? So yeah, the rivers flooded and 2 million acres were flooded. Wow. We also have Worcestershire, one of the oldest still operating wooden roller coasters in Europe, was opened at the Linnamäki Amusement Park in Helsinki, Finland. And that's what this is right here.
So, I wonder if it's still open today, or it just says it's one of the oldest, but it doesn't go.
Yeah.
Ah, look at that.
Yeah. Now, I do have some other images. I think it's still open today. I don't know. But there's this other thing here. What is that? Like, that goes straight down or up, or I don't like it. Like,
Whoa,
what
look
is
at
it?
that.
Just,
Look at it. It's going over. Isn't that continuing on?
Yeah, it comes up or goes down. I don't know where it's going. But yeah, it goes this way. So, I wonder what the heck that is. There it is right there. Like, it's going up and over through this guy.
Yeah.
Probably he's coming from underground, too.
That's what we want to see more than anything.
Yeah. Trying to find it on other camera angles here. I'm not seeing anything. Anyway, moving on up to 1953.
Roller coaster.
Yeah. The Battle of Kumsong River, the last major battle of the Korean War, began. And 54, Dean Stone received credit for an American League win, although he did not retire a batter, as he threw out shooting the heist trying to steal home American League 11, National League 9.
Picture record.
Yeah. 1955, Bew Arcs Trio, Manhattan Preslier piano, Daniel Gouliet violin, Bernard Greenhouse on the cello, made their debut at the Berkshire Music Festival, now the Tanglewood Music Center in Lenape, Massachusetts, United States. All right. 55, industrialist Cyrus Eaton first offered to host a conference on dangers of nuclear weapons in Pugwash, Nova Scotia. Yeah, we need to.
Pugwash.
Yeah, we need to know about that. Nuclear stuff. Yeah. You can't hug your children with nuclear arms. So, 1955, the last execution of a woman in Britain, Ruth Ellis, took place at Holloway Prison in London. 56, RCA released Elvis Presley's single "Hound Dog," a cover of Big Mama Thornton's original, written by Jerry Leiber and Mike Stroller, back with "Don't Be Cruel," written by Otis Blackwell.
Yeah.
2
major hits.
Yep.
On one thing. Yep. One record.
And I never heard "Don't Be Cruel," so I probably
you didn't?
No, I probably didn't sing it correctly.
Don't be cruel.
Don't be cruel.
Cruel heart is true.
Yeah. 56.
Do I sound like Elvis?
I don't know. I've never heard him.
You never heard Elvis?
No.
How's that possible?
Because I don't care. 56. The Dartmouth Workshop is the first conference on artificial intelligence. 1956. You know,
Wow.
remember what I said earlier? So let me get rid of that. There we go. The Dartmouth Conference, 1956. The Big Bang of AI. John McCarthy, Marvin Minsky, and Claude Shannon, Dartmouth College. 1956, they had the conference. There's a learning machine, the logical reasoning, natural language processing, neural networks. We have Lisp language, 1958, and then 1965, expert systems. So all this AI stuff has been going on
Well,
for
at
a
least
long
their imagination
time.
was.
Yeah.
The possibilities of it, they're projecting
Yeah.
out, which is pretty awesome.
And here's more people who were
Yeah.
involved in it. So look at this wild ass guy,
No
Ray
kidding.
Solomanoff.
I was gonna say
Frickin'
before you said it, I was gonna say, man, that guy needs a shave.
Santa. So, the theme: every aspect of learning or any other feature of intelligence can, in principle, be so precisely described that a machine can be made to simulate it. So, wow, this is wild. What else do we got here? 1960, KDBQ-AM in San Francisco, California, changed their call letters to KYA. I wonder why. Like,
Why do we care?
well, I mean, like, I'm just curious about, like, what the
Reasoning behind it.
well, I mean, like, there's litigation, there's rules. Like, if, like, I know that if you're on the west, you start with, like, a K of the Mississippi, and if you're, like, on the east, you start with something else.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so there's that distinction, and then, like, like highway numbers,
Well,
like,
it's original. Not, the letters are regional.
yeah, the letters mean something. They're not just, whatever. They mean something. Like,
I just always thought everything started with a K.
no. Like, radio station east of Mississippi. List of radio stations, let's see here. WABG, WABO, there are some K's here, but they're mostly W's. So, yeah, it's W for east of...
WKR in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
That was a TV show.
What else do we got here? 1960 as well, U.S. Democratic Convention nominated JFK as presidential candidate.
Yeah, presidential candidate. Yeah.
John F. Kennedy. What was this?
Yeah.
What was the F for?
Well, good question. I don't know.
It's not telling me. I don't
That's
care.
weird.
1962, 500 Indonesian parachutists landed on New Guinea. That's weird. Why are they parachuting on New Guinea? It's really odd. Let's look this up really quick. Why do I keep disabling that? There we go. Operation Trikora, 1961 to 62, Indonesian military operation. Huh. It was a combined Soviet-Indonesian military operation which aimed to seize and annex the Dutch overseas territory of New Guinea.
Yeesh.
Wow! In 61 and 62, after negotiations, the Netherlands signed the New York Agreement with Indonesia on 15th of August, 1962, relinquishing control of Western New Guinea to the United Nations. What the hell? I didn't even know that happened.
No.
So, Operation Trikora. Anybody wants to read more about this? That's wild. 62 as well. In an unprecedented action, British Prime Minister Harold Macmillan dismissed 7 members of his cabinet, marking the effective end of the National Liberals as a distinct force within British politics. That sounds dumb. Why would you shoot yourself in the foot like that? 63, future Baseball Hall of Fame pitcher Early Wynn won his 300th and final MLB game at the age of 43. Indian government announced it will cut last remaining links with South Africa by refusing landing facilities to South African aircraft. 66, AC Bakadilina Swami Prabhupada, I destroyed that, sorry, founded the International Society of Krishna Consciousness, the Hare Krishna movement in New York City. Alright. 69, North Ireland loyalist Ian Paisley addressed a crowd at Long Hall, County Antrim, and was reported to have said, quote, I am anti-Roman Catholic, but God being my judge, I love the poor dupes who are ground down under that system, end quote. Can't agree with him more, Like, there's so much, like, evil things in the Catholic Church, Not just talking about what they did to children, or how the Vatican became a sovereign nation through an act of fascism in Benito Mussolini, but, like, just, like, here, like, I'll just show you.
Well, another way to look at that is because it was a fascist government, they were allowed to give that without any qualms.
Let's see right here.
Make a separate country.
This is inside one of the buildings in Vatican. I don't know exactly what building this is or whatever, but from this viewpoint, it's a snake head.
Oh, okay.
That's intentional. Like, there's no way you accidented, this stuff to look like scales, to look like disproportion in the eyes, the fangs in the doorway, the tongue. Yeah, this was intentional. There are demonic symbols and evil things. Like, legitimately, according to Catholics' own religion, they have become the very thing that they fight against. They've been taken over by Satan. So. 1969, the North Ireland, we got that one. Russia launched the unmanned Luna 15 to the moon. 1970, building of Amsterdam Metro began, so they're underground. 1970 as well, the annual 12th parades passed off without serious incident in Northern Ireland. No idea what the heck that is. 12 parades? Like, is that like the 12th?
Sounds like it's on the 12th or something.
Yeah. It is an Ulster Protestant celebration. Yeah, here we go. This is probably like, troubles and everything. The 12th. So throw that in there. It's an Ulster Protestant celebration held on July 12th. It celebrates the glorious revolution and victory of Protestant King William of Orange over Catholic King James II at the Battle of the Boyne. On and around the 12th, large parades were held by the Orange Order and Ulster Loyalist marching bands. Streets were decorated with Union Jacks and bunting. And the 11th night, large towering bonfires were lit. Today, the 12th is mainly celebrated in Northern Ireland, where it is a public holiday, but some celebrations are held elsewhere, such as Scotland, Canada, Australia, and West Africa, of all places. It is also a public holiday in Newfoundland and Labrador. What? So that is remarkable. So, And so this saying, these went off without serious incident, meaning that, the Irish weren't blowing themselves up.
Right.
The troubles and everything. If only Britain would stop being the UK and just let let Scotland and Ireland be fully free. If only. 72, a series of gun battles and shootings erupted across Belfast between the Provisional Irish Republican Army and British Army soldiers. I didn't even realize, legitimately, I didn't know that was the next article. Like, I didn't even realize that was an article. That just enforces my point, 1972 as well, NFL franchise LA Rams, Irsay, and Baltimore Colts, Rosenblum, swapped owners. Okay, so Irsay and Rosenblum, they were the names of the owners.
Became, I think,
the Rams owner, yeah.
Rams owner, yeah.
Yeah.
I
73.
didn't know they did that.
Yeah, neither did I. I didn't even know they existed. 73, Bobby Mercer's 3 homers account for all the RBIs as the Yankees beat Kansas City 5-0. 73, Watergate scandal. Alexander Butterfield revealed the existence of a secret Oval Office taping system to investigators of the Senate Watergate Committee. Secret tape. 74, India's first one-day international against England at Headingley. 75, 8.5 inches or 21.6 centimeters of rainfall in Dover, Delaware. This is your state record. That's a lot of inches.
Yeah.
So, 76, court-martial began in USSR for Valley Sablin, Hunt for Red October. I
remember the movie.
Yeah, I have no idea about the actual incident, but apparently they court-martialed somebody over it for some reason. Sorry. 77, New York City experienced a 25-hour blackout. According to other sources, amidst a period of financial and social turmoil, New York City experienced an electoral blackout lasting nearly 24 hours that led to widespread fires and looting. I wonder who did the looting.
Yeah.
77, Somalia declared war on Ethiopia during the Ogaden War. 78, Albania dropped diplomatic relations with the People's Republic of China. Smart move. We also have Alexander Ginsburg was sentenced by a Soviet court to 8 years in a labor camp. We have a lot of Alexanders in history today. Another one reporting it.
Yeah,
so
there you go.
78, BBC banned the Sex Pistols single "No One Is Innocent." Yikes.
Who banned it again?
BBC, the British Broadcasting Company. 78 as well, the Ford Motor Company chairman Henry Ford II fired company president Lee Iacocca.
Lee Iacocca.
Lee Iacocca. Any reason why? You know the guy's name, so
well, he was a Ford executive. They didn't see eye to eye. He went on to save Chrysler Corporation. He became he became the CEO of Chrysler Corporation, and they were tanking. And he single-handedly saved him. Went to the government, talked him into giving him money, paid it all back.
So maybe if he wasn't fired, if he wasn't fired by Henry Ford, then
they
Chrysler
may not have made it.
Now I wonder why he was fired though. And he
I don't remember.
Like, is it something stupid?
I just don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't recall.
Chrysler. Okay, well, he was courted to Chrysler. Let's see here. He became president of Ford Motor Company, but he clashed with Henry Ford II. He was fired by Ford, even though the company posted a $2 billion profit for the year. So it's not telling me here. Why?
They don't say why. He did a good job. He got fired for doing a good job, that's for sure.
Wow.
Obviously, he hit heads.
Well,
There's a picture.
yeah.
Of him.
Well, the Fords, they did work with the Nazis.
He wasn't a family man.
I mean, Hitler idolized Henry Ford. So what does that tell you about the guy?
As far as the Ford family, he wasn't part of the Ford family.
Yeah. Well, no, like my point is saying, like, you know, Hitler idolized Henry Ford. So what does that say about that family?
Yeah.
You know, so hey, like, you know, he fired the guy for no explicable reason. He was doing a good job, if anything. You know, from what we know.
Well, we don't know.
And then he saved Chrysler, maybe. So anyway, 1978, Russian dissidents Ginsburg, Piatkus, and Szargeny were sentenced to work camps. Walter Pontius completed a swim of 207 kilometers from Cuba to Florida. Swam. Wow. We also have jockey Ron Turcotte at the age of 36 aboard Flag. The horse's name was Flag for some reason. Of Liet. Actually, no, the horse's name was Flag of Liet Gulf. Okay. Crashed during a race at Belmont Park, crushing several vertebrae and remaining paralyzed from the waist down until his death in 2025. Wow. Well, at least he lived, you know.
Yeah.
So, United California's Nolan Ryan and Boston's Steve Renenko each lost a no-hitter in the ninth. We also have George Harrison released a single Faster. 1982, Iran launched first attack into Iraq. 83, the Transvaal Attorney General announced that Eugene Thierry Blanche, leader of the far-right African the AWB, you try to pronounce like this. Weir stands be away judging. The AWB, and 3 associates will face terrorism charges in South Africa. 84, British guitarist Jeff Beck quit singer Rod Stewart's tour after 7 shows. Eddie Van Halen made a guest appearance performing Beat It at Jackson's concert in Dallas, Texas. 84 as well, the last sitting of an all-white parliament in South Africa. About time. 85, doctors at Bethesda Naval Hospital removed 2 small benign polyps from U.S. President Ronald Reagan's colon. I only read that because other source says Vice President George H.W. Bush became the acting president for the day when Reagan underwent that surgery. Otherwise, that was, completely unnecessary and disgusting.
Yeah.
They just call him indisposed. That's all we need to know. 85, Live Aid concerts held at both Wembley Stadium in London and JFK Stadium in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, raised over $70 million for African famine relief.
Yep.
It says here, Live Aid benefit concert took place in London and Philadelphia, as well as other venues such as Moscow and Sydney, according to other sources.
All over the place.
Yeah. We also have New York Yankees retired Roger Maris, 9, and Elston Howard, 32, uniform numbers. 1986, Zola Budd and Enna Cowley were banned from the Commonwealth Games, a direct consequence of Britain's refusal to support economic sanctions against the apartheid government of South Africa. That's kind of bullshit.
Budd. Wasn't she a runner or something?
I don't know, but that's kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
You're denying an individual athlete their ability to compete in this thing just because of politics. That's kind of bullshit.
I know.
Yeah, AO's time, 1987, federal judge threw out Bette Midler's $10 million suit against Ford Motor Company, which used a sound-alike voice for its TV commercials. Wow. 87 as well, Kylie Minogue released her debut single, Locomotion. And if you don't know this song here...
Locomotion.
Yeah. I didn't realize, it was 87.
I don't know that version of it.
Get into it. See?
Yeah.
That's a classic part.
Yeah.
And let's stop it there. So, throw that in the music channel actually. So let's see. Where's the music? There we. No, it's not there. There you go. Okay. Oh, you gotta watch this one. This one. Holy crap, dude! That is amazing. I'll you know what? I'll just open it and I'll have it here to show you after the show because I have got to show this to you. This is awesome. What else do we got here? 1987, we got that one. 1988, Sting performed his first Rainforest Fund benefit concert at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. 1990, Lennon Peak disaster. A 6.4 magnitude earthquake in Afghanistan triggered an avalanche on Lennon Peak, killing 43 climbers in the deadliest mountaineering disaster in history.
Ooh.
Yikes. 91, Bob Milwaukee and 3 other Baltimore Oriole pitchers no-hit A's 2-0. 92, the Tripartite Alliance, consisting of the African National Congress, South African Communist Party, and Congress of South African Trade Union, outlined a mass action plan for August. That sounds incredibly ominous,
Yeah,
and I looked this up,
good.
and this looks terrifying if it's going to load. Come on, load, man. There we go. Doesn't this look horrifying? Like, Africa, stop emulating Europe, please. We don't need to do this again. 94, former NFL running back, broadcaster, and actor O.J. Simpson, who was charged with murder, gave hair samples for testing. 94, Tonya Harding's ex-husband, Jeff Gilloy, was sentenced to 2 years in prison for his role in the attack on Canadian Olympic figure skater Nancy Kerrigan. 96, Cigar win is the name of the horse. Cigar won a record 16th consecutive race, tying Citation's record from 1948. They need to make names more understandable. This is stupid. Other source, though, says wins a record 16th consecutive race, tying Citation record from 1940. So is it the record from 48 or 1940? Discrepancy there. 99, Pedro Martinez struck out the first 4 batters in the All-Star game at Fenway Park, entering All-Star game MVP, or earning the game.
Yeah.
I think I'm having a stroke. 2001, International Olympic Committee voted to award Beijing the 2008 Summer Olympic Games. All right. 2003, French DGSE personnel aborted an operation to rescue Ingrid Betancourt from FARC rebels in Colombia, causing a political scandal when details were leaked to the press. 2005, a TV police procedural The Closure debuted on TNT, starring Kyra Sedgwick. 2005 as well, WorldCom chairman Bernard J. Ebbers was sentenced to 25 years in prison for committing accounting fraud. That doesn't seem like enough. 2008, brewing company InBev announced a deal to buy stadium brewer Anheuser-Busch for almost $52 million. Billion, sorry, not million.
Yeah.
Billion with a B.
Wow.
No. Yeah, I'm starting to have, I think the heat's having an effect on my ability to read. 2008, we have the Battle of Wanat began when Taliban and Al-Qaeda guerrillas attacked U.S. Army and Afghan National Army troops in Afghanistan. The U.S. deaths were, at the time, the most in a single battle since the beginning of operations in 2001. 2009, She-Wolf, the lead single from Shakira's 8th album, premiered. So wouldn't that, by another name, be a wild feral bitch? A she-wolf?
I don't know.
2011, United Nations Security Council Resolution 1999 was adopted, which admitted South Sudan to member states of United Nations. Member status? Not state. Member states? Or status? 2011. Oh, this is from another source, so it says member states.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna status. I'm gonna double check here.
I think you're right. I think it should be status.
Yeah.
Member status.
Okay, why are you working? Why do you do this? Okay, there you go. Now you're loading. Good boy. Stupid phone. So this is 2011. Oh.
You gotta get all the
Member status. It is status. I got it.
Yeah.
So, all right. 2012, 19 to 30 people are killed after a train collided with a truck in Malane, South Africa. Why is there such a discrepancy? How do you not know how many people were killed?
Yeah.
19 to 30? Like, how bad was this train collision? Are some of the bodies atomized? What happened? 2012, financially troubled Scottish football club Rangers was voted into the 3rd division. 2013, here we go. Black Lives Matter, created in response to the acquittal of George Zimmerman on trial for the... He didn't kill Trayvon Martin. He stood his ground. You remember the whole Zimmerman thing?
Of course.
And all that stuff?
Yeah.
See, this is, like, right out of the gates, it has nothing to do with Black Lives Mattering. I mean, that's been obvious, proven since then. But, like, it has always been to be prejudice against white people, If a black guy had shot Trayvon Martin, they wouldn't give a shit. They only care because it's a white guy. They're just using this as a way to get at whitey, And it says, and don't forget, like on their website, on BLM's website itself, for a while, they straight up had on their homepage, our main goal is to destroy the white middle-class family structure. Like, that was their goal.
Wow.
They screamed it from the rooftops. They eventually, like, when people started seeing that and started making videos, they took that down. But like, you know, I bet you if you went to the Wayback Machine, I know you don't know what that is, but like, you know, anybody watching
I
this,
know it is from a cartoon.
yeah, well, like it's a thing online. You can go check out websites as they looked in the past, you know, because that
That's
data
kinda
is still
cool.
there. Yeah, the government and everything, they're trying to get rid of that because they're trying to erase history and everything. But it's still around, to my knowledge. If you look back on BLM's website using the Wayback Machine, you'll see it on there. You know, their main goal is to destroy white people, you know, to get rid of the white class, you know, middle class family structure and all that stuff. It's horrible. 2013 as well, Typhoon Serlik killed at least 9 people and affected more than 160 million in East China and Taiwan. 1 year later, 2014, FIFA World Cup awards, Lionel Messi got the Golden Ball, James Rodriguez got the Golden Boot, and Manuel Neuer got the Golden Gloves. So, you know,
Yeah, I don't know what all those are, but congrats.
awards, trophies.
Of
and
course, I
everything.
know
Yeah.
that part.
So, yeah. I'm just thinking, like, the Golden Boot, did he get fired? You know? So.
No.
FIFA World Cup final, Maracanã Stadium, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Mario Götze scored an extra time winner as Germany defeated Argentina 1-0. I think that's like a big upset. Like,
I have no idea.
we also have 2015 Greek credit crisis. Eurozone agreed conditional deal to lend 86 billion euros over 3 years if Greece passed reforms. We also have Sarah Bland was found dead in Waller County Jail, Texas, after spending the weekend in jail following a traffic offense. Her family disputes her supposed self-deletion. So they say that she was killed in there. No idea who that is, but yeah, it's really unfortunate. Theresa May was elected Prime Minister of the United Kingdom by Conservative Party MPs in 2016, members of Parliament. 2017, Dunkirk, film directed by Christopher Nolan with ensemble cast including Mark Rylance and Tom Hardy, premiered in London, England. And yes, this is an amazing movie. Like, go watch Dunkirk. There's this one scene, like, you know, it starts off way back here and everything, but I just want to show this this one section of it. Like, it's just quiet. You're just sitting here. You're reading this. Okay, action time, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and then it continues on. I mean, he's the only one out of that whole group to survive, spoiler alert. But then he's on the other side. He's trying to get his rifle to work. How do you fight that, dude? I mean, boom, 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 boom. It's eating through that wall. How do you fight? Fuck that, you know? Like, and that's exactly what he does. Like, he tries to fight, you know? Fuck this, you know, out. Like, that's terrifying, dude. Oh, but now we need a cry corner, you know? So, wow.
What else we got?
Yeah. Moving on up, 2018, actress Scarlett Johansson withdrew from a transgender film role after criticism of her casting. Who cares? 2018, Chelsea FC sacked high-profile manager Antonio Conte despite winning the 2016-17 EPL and 2018 FA Cup and replaced him with ex-Napoli boss Maurizio Sarri. That's why. He was winning. Why do people... What's the point of working for people if your success does not guarantee job security? What the fuck? 2018, HBO announced that it had obtained the rights to The Nevers, a project by Joss Whedon. Never heard of that. 2018, Johnson & Johnson ordered to pay a record $4.7 billion in damages in talc cancer case by jury in U.S. state of Missouri. We also have large protests in London against U.S. President Donald Trump, featuring Trump-like baby blimp as President Trump meets Queen Elizabeth II at Windsor Castle. So yeah, they had this.
Yeah.
We've seen that and everything. But then we have 2018. Outline of 5,000-year-old henge was discovered right here at Newgrange, Ireland, through drought and drone footage. So that's awesome. Like, you know, the imprints.
Yeah.
You can't really see it, you know, until you see it from the air or something. Like, it's pretty wild. Like, you know, the amount of things that we can just see on the surface if we just take a step back. You know, like, that's awesome. Look at that. What else do we got here? 2018, a self-deletion bombing in Baluchistan, Pakistan, targeting election campaign event, killed 128 people. Islamic State claimed responsibilities. U.S. Department of Justice charged 12 Russian intelligence officers with cyber attacks against Democratic officials during 2016 U.S. election. 2019, after the Atlantic League MLB partnership rule changed, Southern Maryland Blue Crabs outfielder Tony Thomas became the first player in professional baseball history to steal first base in a 7-2 win against the Lancaster Barnstormers. 2020, after a 5-day search, the body of Stadian actress and singer Naya Rivera was recovered from Lake Piero in California, where she had drowned. That's unfortunate. 2021, unprecedented early fire season in western U.S. as 67 large fires and nearly 918,000 acres were reported burned by Interagency Fire Center. So, like western U.S., that sounds like us.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, we are like half of the West, so, you know, at least on the coast. 2021, violent protests and looting following the jailing of Jacob Zuma left 337 dead in South Africa, with more than 200 shopping malls set on fire. Wow. 2022, Sri Lankan President Gotabaya Rajapaksa fled to the Maldives just before leaving office amid nationwide protests and economic unrest. 2024, 19th century explorer Matthew Flinders, who first circumnavigated Australia and named it, was reburied in Donington, Lincolnshire, the village of his birth. Not to be confused with the guy who discovered Australia.
Which was,
we talked about him, Captain
earlier.
James Cook.
Yeah.
So, 2024, former U.S. Now current again, President Donald Trump survived an assassination attempt at an outdoor campaign rally in rural Butler, Pennsylvania. Gunman Thomas Matthew Crooks fired 6 to 8 shots, killing 1 spectator, critically wounding 2, and hit Trump in the ear with a bullet before being killed by a Secret Service sniper. Fight! Fight! You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. There's so much shady stuff that happened between that. Like the guy had him in his crosshairs for like a half hour.
Yeah.
He was being told to stand down by his superior, the Secret Service, and everything. You know, like there's so much weird stuff that happened in there, and there's also like there's a whole conspiracy, like time traveler Twitter post looks like Trump flag or something. Like there's that's the theory about President Trump being time traveler. But there's this other, like, there's this thing out there about some guy many years ago posted an image on Twitter, and he said, oh, like this is looking through that, like that one machine that they made, you know, a long time ago, that they said that they can look through time with, or whatever.
Okay.
They were looking in the future, and he had, like, you know, really, you know, like really distorted, fuzzy looking image or whatever, but it showed the outline, you know, of the flag and this guy and Trump and his arm, and then, you know, it showed the outline of this, and that was like 10 some odd years before this even happened. So is there a machine that can tell the future? I mean, to us, you know, time, it seems linear because that's how we perceive it, but in reality, time is just a construct of human perception in order to better categorize and organize our lives to exist within this little bubble that we live in the universe, you know? So,
What do you think that woman's doing wrong right there?
not pushing him down?
No, I mean, he's been down, they got him up.
Yeah.
She needs to be making herself
Yes,
as
that's
big
right.
as possible.
Yes. Yes.
She's doing the exact opposite. She's doing a duck and cover. She's leading him off.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't think she realizes that he's standing. I mean,
no, they got him up to get him out, and she's going to be bigger than he is. He's going to be bigger than her.
yeah.
But she's not doing what she's trained to do, and that's stand up and be as big as you can be.
True. Yeah. Anyway, that shall conclude the show. Once again, please check the underbar of the description below for any links that you may find interesting. A lot of history and has and continues to be made on a daily basis. We can only bring you a portion between two different sources. We have gone through our 30-page document right before the hour. Oh, hey, Epic James, volume up a notch. So I'm gonna have to fiddle with my audio some more at some other point. But yeah, anyway, yeah, it's up to you to find the artifacts of our history, but only if each individual reaches out with and for open mindfulness, with a yearn to learn, to see outside what you think you know, to grow and find enlightenment. We have to find common ground with those who see their opinions differently from our own and find a better way to be better to one another. For your dose of Past Events Daily, we stream at 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 6 Mountain, 7 Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. If you're still watching, what's the code word?
New Guinea.
New Guinea. Can you spell New Guinea?
Not my problem.
N-E-W space G-I-N-U-E-A or something? G-U-E-N-A? Wow, I can't even spell it. Anyway, at least it's not Papua New Guinea. P-A-U-P-A or whatever. Anyway, yeah, for all of you and all of us, I'm Xander.
Golden Loon.
And UVRU. And until you catch us next time, whenever it is, wherever it is, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection. Rate 5 thumbs and subscribe. Toodles! And yeah.